We
Hello,
are rolling.
and welcome to the BS Buddies podcast, episode 1. This is our first time trying to do this, and I've tried to set this up for a year, and we're finally doing it. We're here. It took a fucking year.
No. That's called management and organizational grace period. That's what that's for. Got to make sure we get everything just perfect so we don't fuck it up like we inevitably will as we go into this.
Or
Okay.
Ian would not respond to me, then it got delayed, but we'll go with that.
I still say it's a grace period.
Anyways, my name is Joe.
And hello, I'm Ian. I didn't realize you were gonna just pause at that point.
I thought about introducing you, but I figured you can do that.
I'm capable of introducing myself. That's fair. I suppose I can say hi on my own behalf.
So
As Ivan makes his lunch for tomorrow in the background. Thank you.
So what we're gonna do with this first episode, we're gonna kind of talk about how we met, what, what, how this podcast even became an idea, and where we kind of want to go from here. Ian, would you like to start us off, or would you like me to start us off?
Well, we'll take you all the way back to the crisp year of, God, I don't even know what would have been like 2002, 2003.
2002, 03.
If we're going back that far, if we're going all the way back to elementary school.
So I'll just add this. Ian is about a year older than me. Him and my middle sister were in the same grade, and I was in the grade below him. So we ended up going to. I also like how I asked if you wanted to start it, and then I just like.
And then yeah, well,
okay,
hey,
I got it
you,
from here.
yeah, you probably got the better memory than I do. Go for it.
Oof, that's saying something. Anyways, so we went to Catholic school together from about I want to say kindergarten, first grade until. I mean, you were in 6th grade, I was in 5th grade, and then you went off to junior high, so pretty much all
And the
that-
tornado came through and screwed up everything.
That's another story. Um, so we went through elementary school together, and then I don't think we really even talked at all because you had your best friend Daniel, I had my best friend Saki, which, well,
We didn't
sure.
we didn't start talking much until
I won't.
probably like 5th and 6th grade year, and then after that it was when we were in baseball together.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say the first time I actually properly talked to you was 9th grade. Like I've known.
It was it? I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, granted, yeah, I was like, hey, yeah, we knew each other this whole time, never spoken a word.
The one time I tried to like talk to you, Ian would make these, and we can talk if you want to go more in depth another time. But Ian would make these comics and like drawings
Oh my
and
God.
stuff, and I remember one day I had to have been in like 3rd or 4th grade. I went up to Ian and I'm like, hey, can I see your comic or drawing, whatever it was. I wanted to see whatever you made, and you go. Not today. And then I never saw it. To this day, I still
Did I really?
Yeah,
Did I really?
like you're
not
basically
today.
like, I don't really want to. Like maybe another day. But I'm like,
I don't remember this at all. I am 100% positive though that I still have all of those old comics because, as you know, my mother is somebody who's very keen on keeping and collecting things from throughout the years, and I think I'm like at 80% sure in the percentage brackets of sureness. I'm like 80% sure the folder is at my parents' house in with all of my other stuff from over the years, and it has all of those old comics that I used to draw when I was in freaking elementary school, which I have no idea where those comics even came from or what inspired me to make them, because it was always like the entire premise of this comic, just to put it out there, is two I guess, brothers. I don't know what they're stick figures really, and their whole mission was to kill the other guy first. That was it. And they just kept coming up with more and more extravagant ideas on how to get the other guy like a freaking Wile E. Coyote cartoon. And apparently Joe asked to see it, and I just said, "No, you're not allowed to see this. This is my masterpiece." And then,
So,
boop.
so that would have had to been when we were around 8 or 9. That is the most I've heard of what goes on in in those comics, and I'm 25 now, almost 26. I didn't even know that was the premise of it.
I was a very niche comic artist. My styles were very refined. It's only for a select audience. What can I say?
But we'll skip ahead to about 9th grade.
Someday I'll bust them bad boys out and we'll have them on here, and we can look through the depravity of my elementary school self. Just a fun fact: I once got in trouble because they asked us what to draw a picture of something you like, and my cousins had just been over that weekend, and they were, shooting their pistols at the sandpit, and so I drew a picture of a pistol because I was like, that was really cool. I like guns, and they like, oh, turn in the picture that you drew, and I handed in a picture of a frickin' pistol, and of course, schools being schools, were like, he okay? So there was that incident too.
That reminded me of something I put probably around the same age. I'd do have been like 6. And it's
I don't know. It's just guns were cool. There's nothing behind it. It was just like, oh yeah, what do I like? I like guns. I'm gonna draw a gun.
So I can't remember what it was, but it's like finish this sentence and.
No. Oh no.
My brain immediately went this, and I'm like, okay, we're writing it down. And I can't remember what the beginning of it was, but the ending was I will meet you at the gun store. Love, James Bond.
Oh God,
And
I don't.
I had to read it in front of the class, and I couldn't because I was laughing too hard.
I'll meet you at the man. I don't know what kind of context the first part of that sentence had to have set up, but I don't care what it is because how did you get? I'll meet you at the gun store. Love, James Bond.
The funny thing is, it came to me within a second, and I knew what I wanted to put, and I, to this day, never seen a James Bond movie.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Do you know what meme that reminds me of? Just for funsies. As long as we're gonna make this a show about going down the rabbit holes, right?
Oh boy. I will throw out there, I may be looking a lot to my right. That's where I have all the recording stuff and my monitors. My camera's kind of off to the side, so if it looks like I'm looking off a lot, I just want to see Ian's pretty face when he talks. That's it. And make sure we're still recording.
I'm looking up a meme. I don't know if it will show me what I want.
Well, while you look that up, I'm gonna continue on.
Yep, you can. You do that. I can't find it. Yeah.
Ian became.
I was unsuccessful. I'll find it later and send it to you.
Ian became pretty good friends with my cousin, who at that time was like my best friend, and I mean we're still good and everything, but at that time, like, best friend, and then Ian is talking to him. I'm like, hey, this Ian guy's kind of cool.
Oh, hi.
But
how are you?
it was 9th grade basketball. And they barely played music over the intercom when we practiced or anything. And to, like, kind of break the ice, it played... You'll remember this as soon as I say it.
Oh, no.
It started playing I Hate Everything About You by 3 Days Grace. And right before the chorus hit, I'm like, Ian, this song reminds me of you. And then all I hear is I Hate Everything About You.
I remember that.
I think it took off from there.
I don't even remember. I remember thinking to myself, it's like when you came up to me, you're like, hey, you. And I'm like, hey, what? And like, this song reminds me of you. And then I listened to the chorus, and I remember thinking to myself, what did I do? Why does he hate everything about me? What did Never done. And then it went.
Yeah.
I never questioned it.
Yeah,
I was
and then
accepted. I was like, all
we
right,
talked like
I
every
guess,
single
yeah.
day after that. Um, but then
Leading up to the explosions Michael Bay incident.
uh, it was the following year when we were in baseball practice together. I had this idea because I did YouTube fairly heavily. The content was shit and the quality was shit. But I'm like, hey, I have this idea, and Ian and I talked so much. I'm like, hey, I have this idea. He's like, okay, sweet, let's do it. And then I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, let's. I'm like, do you want to do it today? He's like, yeah, sure. So.
Yeah, it was that easy. I was like, yeah, of course, why not?
And the premise of that was pretty much this, but this is going to be a lot more structured. Because
A bit more structured, somewhat to a minuscule degree.
That's the BS part of this, because we have.
We'll write stuff down this time. We didn't write stuff down last time, so we'll just write stuff down this time, and that will be our improvement.
So basically, I would just hit record, and then whatever happened, happened. Whatever we talked about, we talked about. Like Ian said, Michael Bay for some reason. We talked about birds. We talked about chimichangas.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Yeah, so that was the start of the whole improv. So if I remember correctly, the explosions Michael Bay, which is almost what fueled our first episode, was when we were waiting around at the elementary school after practice one day. I thought it was for baseball, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure, because it was the springtime, and then that summer that we hung out a lot. And we were messing around with, I think it was Snapchat at the time, had just come out with like the filters or the reverse and the slow down stuff that you could do on it. So we were messing around with that on our iPods. 4th gens and 5th gens at the time. God, that makes me feel so old when I say that. And that was when we were recording this stuff as we're hanging out in the lobby there, and I whipped around the camera and I'm like, explosions Michael Bay. And for some reason we laughed at that for like a solid 15 minutes. And then we decided, you know what? If we're going to do that, we should do like a whole YouTube deal. And we'll call it like an improv, because we'll just hit record and then we'll do things and then we'll just put it on YouTube. We thought it was like the best idea we'd ever had, and it led to some rather interesting results. I don't know what we were on in the making of those.
The videos are still up on YouTube. I'll try and remember to leave a link down below. It's on my original YouTube channel, which I have since renamed, but I might just change the name back and it'll make more sense. But anyways, yeah, I think we had 31, and then I remember we tried when we were recording the 32nd one. Like 3 minutes in, I'm like, this is garbage. Shut it off, and we never record.
And it was just never another.
Because it's like we would keep saying like we could do it on anything, like whatever we want, and then we ran out of ideas somehow.
And then it was just immediately ran it. Well, I mean, when you have an unlimited amount of possibility to do things, suddenly it was like I have exhausted every avenue of things that I can conceive of, and we made her for 31 episodes, and that's where it died. So then, but that's okay, because now we can revive it.
And then Ian, like, and we I wouldn't say grow up, but like we got old enough to, you know.
I got older. I didn't grow up.
I went to school. There's a lot of stories we'll probably talk about in future episodes of this. Ian became a Marine. A lot of stuff happened, and then a lot of life. We always mentioned like coming back to improvs and doing it again, and then like I thought, oh, a podcast would probably make more sense with this type of content. And then, like, I kept bringing it up to Ian every so often, but I don't think either one of us had the mental capacity to actually, like, figure it out.
It was something that we both wanted to do, but neither of us was, like, ready for the commitment of, like, oh god, once we start, we can't stop.
So
But now I
la-
think we got it on lock.
last year when I moved, which a lot of this, I don't want to keep repeating myself with this. A lot of these are going to end up in different topics because they're just way too big to handle in this one.
We can use this first episode as just like a just given the cliff notes of topics that we'll cover, right? So this is kind of like our introductory, hey, these are some things that you might hear about in future episodes. And so it's fine if we skip over a few details here and there. We've got plenty of future episodes to work out the details.
But I moved from Fargo, North Dakota to the Eau Claire, Wisconsin area, and then just kind of
Cheesehead.
felt, shut up, never.
Traitor.
So once I moved here, then like I felt relieved for the first time in a while. I'm like, hey, I want to start working on stuff that I wanted to. So, or thought about in the past, want to bring it to life again. And I texted Ian. I'm like, hey, like I really want to do this podcast. And like Ian said, like wanting to do it and like mental capacity. Like I was there. Like I was ready. Like I was ready to rip podcast apart. Like yes, I'm down for it. And then I text Ian, and he wasn't quite there. To put it nice.
It was a bad time at my my job previously before where I'm currently working. My previous job was it was not going hot for quite a while. We'll just put it there. We'll say that.
And then if we want to go into detail, we can another time. But I was like super motivated to do it, and I know I texted you like 3 weekends in a row, and you're like, yeah, I'll text you back. Like, I'll get back to you. Oh, my family is doing something. I'll get back to you. And then I just kind of gave up. I'm like, well, when he wants to do it, he'll message me. So.
And then my schedule got psychotic on me, and I was like, nope, no thanks. I don't want to participate in life. I got bad for a while. It's so much better now that I've changed things up.
Because the one bad thing that to me, it's one of the biggest issues that we ran into. I work first shift, and Ian would work second shift. So it's like, well, we
always on different schedules.
Like we both have to have a weekend that we both have free. And this past year, I've basically become a full-time dad, so weekends can be a little tricky. So
yeah, it's sometimes hard to find the time in between, but luckily now that we're both on day shift hours, we can probably start scrounging some time together in the evenings.
Like now.
Yeah, like now. It's a Monday night. Sun's going down. Got some nice music in the background. I've got both the animals are snoozing here next to me on the couch.
So
it's an easy day.
What was kind of the turning point in how we are finally have it started? Back in July, we had a mutual friend get married, and for starters, I didn't even think Ian was going to be there, and I knew that he was a mutual friend. So when I saw him, I was like, yes!
I was like, oh yeah, of course.
To talk to.
Of course he'd be here. Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, there was a lot of people at that wedding that I did not expect to see, but ran into nonetheless, and I was like, oh, what a pleasant surprise this is. So many faces that I haven't seen in a very long time.
And then after the wedding, when we could actually talk a lot more, I just remember you apologizing like 5 times to me. And like I told Ian, as soon as he apologized the first time, I'm like, I was pissed for 2 weeks, and then I got over it. Like, and seeing how honestly bad you felt and how much you wanted it, I'm like, okay, I think it's finally gonna happen now.
I get so excited to do these things, and then I fall so far behind in my communication, and it's just not even funny. I am very bad with technology. I'm going to put this one out there right away. I am very bad with technology and replying. I am not somebody who can navigate his way very comfortably around even Snapchat. I had just as an example, I was trying to post something on my story from Tennessee when we were out there on vacation, a video that I had taken, and I was getting so lost just trying to add like captions and stickers to the video that I was asking my girlfriend for help, and she was helping me but also picking on me the whole way. She's like, "Oh, you don't know how to do this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know how to do this because I am not very technologically savvy. I have found that as I get older, I go backwards in technological understanding.
I was
So I blame that on the fact that I can never keep up with people
I
whenever they message me."
I was gonna rip into you a little more, and then I thought, oh yeah, he was in the Marines for 4 years. He wasn't on Snapchat every single day like I was. So
Yeah, there
you get a
was that
pass.
aspect of it.
But yeah, it's 3 days away from September, and now we're finally doing it. And
The tail end of summer beginner.
yeah,
That's what this episode is. The tail end of summer beginner.
I don't know how to spell that.
That's just a
Uh,
lot of words and vowels. I think you can throw a couple consonants in there. It'll be all right. Just sound it out. Whatever letters you feel in your heart would spell that best, you go for it.
um,
Any old order.
but we're here now. I know, like I've been thinking about this for probably 2 months since we talked in July, and I just brought up the topic to him 22 minutes ago. So right before we started, where would you like to see the podcast go, or like what would you expect from doing podcasts?
What is the end goal
Yes, that's
of
a
doing
much
these?
better way to explain it.
Words hard. Words are hard. It's okay. Me, I'm Marin. Eat crayon. Red flavor best. Yep, I'm spending that joke right away. We're getting that one out of the tube. Since you already stated that I joined the Marine Corps, I'm getting that one out right away because I know it's going to be incoming at one point or another.
But end goal, or do you want me to go first, or
Yes, because I am
okay?
formulating my answer as we
Okay.
speak.
I can tell because you're talking about eating crayons.
Yes.
So kind of my end goal, I would like to do this as long as possible, as long as Ian's gonna be here. Like I'd love to do this for years and years and years. And with our personalities, I feel like we're gonna make a
We'll
big
have
enough.
dumb stuff to talk about forever.
Yes. And I hope some of it relates. I know my idea is kind of, from time to time, kind of help people through tough times. Because Ian and I have seen a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But also, like, just to be kind of that relief for people, kind of that 10 to 20 minute break. I mean, now we're approaching a half hour pretty quickly, but I mean, help out where we can, but otherwise, I mean, it's just honestly really nice to chat with you and knowing that if we're gonna record this once a week, like, for me, it's something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, it's a little bit of structure and a little bit of schedule, which I think would play well into, on my end of things, I guess this would help me establish a routine to my weeks. Because, I mean, right now, with everything with the vacation that just happened and the one that I've still got this upcoming weekend, plus I have another wedding to go to in the middle of September for another one of my friends, and my family wants to do another side-by-side ride, and a whole mess of schedule is coming up. And something that I've always wanted was just kind of a regular reoccurring thing, I guess. Like you said, something to look forward to, something to do every week, a goal to look forward to completing, to give myself some structure and a bit more continuity and sense of, I don't know, continuance in my pursuit to become a YouTube creator, I guess, if I ever get back to making videos, because I really did enjoy the editing aspect and all that, but it's been slow and difficult getting back into it with all the job changing and nonsense. But I'm hoping this will be something that kind of ties all back into itself. So there was my little spiel using big 4-syllable words, so I'll cut it short there before I shoot myself in the foot and start talking embarrassing stories about myself. Take it away, Joe.
2 people, big goal. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. 2 people have big goal, talk a lot. The end.
But I think on that note,
that's the whole show. Talk, the end.
but this is the very first one. Like we said, we'd like to do this a lot more. We'll get better at it as we go. I haven't recorded a video in probably 2 years, so it's new, getting back into it. We got a lot of ideas, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And if there's any comments or anything you want us to talk about, because more than likely we will talk about it.
Oh, I'm sure we'll cover it.
If you have something relatively interesting, we will talk about it for 15 minutes.
We'll put it in the notebook. We'll make a few rude passing comments on it, and then never touch it again.
Sure.
Leave you with a completely unsatisfied answer on the subject. That's what we'll do.
Well, I'm gonna write down what they say and just tell you it's one of my ideas.
Oh, okay. See, that's what you're gonna fool me. We're not gonna have a reading your comments section ever. We're not gonna do that.
I'm sure we will.
At some point.
But thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this first episode, and I don't
And if you didn't, I understand. No, it's okay.
No.
You better, or I will hunt you down.
He was a Marine.
I'll probably get lost. It's all right. I haven't used a compass in like 4 years now.
If you guys didn't know,
I'll use Google Maps, and then when that doesn't work, I'll get sad and turn around.
If you guys didn't know, Ian is a Marine. Thank you for enjoying this. Or I hope you enjoyed this first episode. We will be back with more once we can get Ian on a schedule.
Hey, we at least made it through the first one. So now we just got to get through the rest of them, right? You know what? Let's end them on a quote. My quote for the day is, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Yeah. Beat that one, Joe. You got to come up with a cooler quote than that.
Thanks for watching.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Okay, bye.